popcorn, grab a Coke, and find that old VHS. We're diving deep in cheesy flicks. Yeah, we're on a vintage quest. Low reviews but high on laughs. Let's give these films a cheer. The cult classics, flops, and nuts. There are topics this year. We're the Ejectables, rolling back the years, celebrating movies that no one else cheers. From backhand juice to epic fails, we say it's all good. We're the Ejectables, yeah, we're misunderstood.
Welcome to the Ejectables. This is the show where movie enthusiasts Bill and Ian join forces with a weekly rotating guest to celebrate movies that we feel have been unjustly panned by the critics and or sadly ignored or forgotten by audiences. This week's guest is a return guest, the one and only Mike A. Mike!
Hey.
Welcome, Mike.
Thank you for joining the show. Mike is an industry professional, sharing lights and equipment for film and TV and stage productions. When you've seen his work or his co-work in films like Shutter Island and I don't know, The Godfather and
you never saw The Godfather.
What's that?
You never saw The Godfather.
I know.
I've worked on 10 movies that Ian has been in.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
28 movies that Ian has been in that nobody knows.
Wait, I thought it was 36, but that's fine. I'll go with 28.
How many movies has it been, Ian?
I have no idea. I don't know.
You lost count?
Wait, are you working on that new thing that's filming around Boston?
No.
Okay.
I'm not working on anything anymore. It's not what I do, but
no,
thank
but
you.
you provide equipment and lights to these productions.
Yes, my colleagues do now. The ones that I work with in my company. I'm in a different direction now, but
okay.
But again, thanks for the plug.
Can you fire those people? Are you connected in a way that you could make them not be able to deliver these things?
I'm just a jerk who goes to work every day, dude. That's it.
Okay, but you know them well enough to put car bombs, in their cars.
If I had to, but right now, the industry is not doing so hot here in Boston right now.
I know.
They're going to Canada, they're going to Europe, they're going
to Budapest.
Yeah, right, exactly. And so for some reason, they're not coming to Mass, and I really hope that changes. So once that becomes a $1 trillion industry again, then I'll start edging people out of the way and throwing elbows to get back into the market share.
We'll give you time. So maybe next time I introduce you, I'll be honest and not be lying. Sorry, audience.
You're fine. It was a lovely synopsis, and I appreciate the plug.
Mike, have you seen any movies since we last saw you? Not for this show, but new movies.
Have I seen any new movies? I don't know. Have I? I've watched a lot of different things lately. Series mostly. I have been since my last since you did Manhunter.
Yeah.
Started watching the Michael Mann series Crime Story on Prime, and it's awesome. And everybody is in it. Like I literally just watched an episode yesterday where Julia Roberts is like this 16-year-old girl who something bad happens to her, and Mike Lieutenant Trello, who is Dennis Farina, gets his revenge on the guy who harms this lovely young lady.
Was this filmed before he died and when she was actually young, or is this?
It was like 1980 something.
Oh, okay.
I've been locked in this 1980 something world, and now here we are with more movies that are 1980 something world. And so yeah,
Bill keeps on dragging me back into the 80s. So
it's a nice retro. It's a nice retro.
It brings me
back.
I
had to fix my shoe. All right, guys. So what are we talking about today?
Mike doesn't like the chit chat.
Yeah,
no, we're ready to go here, guys.
Okay, then we'll just jump into it. So, what movie, if you were say watching it, would you not want to eject? What movie would you be talking about today?
Well, today I am talking about a rock and roll fable called Streets of Fire. Get that graphic. Nice graphic.
Who directed that movie?
Walter Hill, same guy who directed The Warriors classic, and also what else did he direct?
48 hours.
Oh yeah, Long Riders, Extreme Prejudice.
right? He's directed some incredible movies that are like just iconic films of the 80s.
And some mediocre ones.
Oh, very mediocre ones. So here we are today talking about Streets of Fire, which came out in 1984, and it's supposed to be a rock opera. It
But
is their
isn't.
version of a rock opera. What's that?
Never mind, go on.
What are you guys laughing about? Is there something in my teeth?
I'm laughing at Ian. How ridiculous is it? I'm not laughing. I'm with you. This is a great movie, Mike.
I love this movie.
Ian has no joy in his life, so don't take a shit. Don't take a shit. Mike.
Oh no shit is being taken. But Ian is
I'm
tasting movies. Wait till I start talking about his movie. Holy crap, dude! I think yeah. Ian, your films are a little anemic, like you. Okay, so anyway, let's go back.
I'll
let's
get
go back
mad again.
Yes. Yeah. So, retro-futuristic rock opera. What is a retro-futuristic rock opera, you ask? Mike, what is that?
Not this.
Basically, this movie melds the 1950s and the 1980s together in this 1980s Pat Benatar scandal music video that is a story about a cowboy and a rock and roll singer and a cobra that runs a motorcycle. Yeah, there's a cobra, and runs a motorcycle gang. It's got everything. It's got Rick Moranis being a tough guy, which absolutely is amazing to me. So some of the things I want to say about this that I really like about it. First of all, it starts off with a text that says "Another time, another place," and basically it is a striking comic book setting. It embraces its cliches, Ian. Unlike the movie that you picked, which I don't even know what the hell is going on.
Well, we'll get to that.
Cliches are being kicked everywhere on that movie.
I agree.
But this movie, it embraces those cliches, and it starts off in this town, this city. It's run down. It's underneath the train tracks. It's like the underbelly of society. It's punk rock. It's 1950s repressed. It's Motown rock and roll. It's Pat Benatar video. So it starts off with dianelane, the beautiful dianelane, 18 years old dianelane. Like, oh my God, does it get any better?
Michael Perry is like 36. But go on.
And Michael Perry, yeah, exactly. And he just came off of Eddie and the Cruisers fame, which he was this relatively unknown dude.
Should have stayed that way. Sorry, go on.
And he would be like what's his name there? The dude from England now. Tough looking dude.
Shakespeare.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. He would be Tom Hardy now. Or Tom Hardy would be playing this role now if Tom Hardy was a thing.
That would be a better film.
Ian, do you have a clip of this movie?
Oh, we do. Okay, here it goes. This clip has fire, everybody, and there are streets of them. There's literally fire on the streets.
There's also a lot of water on the streets, too, because every single scene has got beautiful street lights and neon signs reflecting up out of puddles on the street.
It could be gasoline, hence the fires.
Why didn't you pull the opening song, Ian? It's the best part of the movie.
Well,
the best
part. I get a copyright hit for that.
Not the best part of the movie. Yeah. Anyways, so Raven, as you see there, played by Willem Dafoe, a young Willem Dafoe. There's nothing more beautiful than a young Willem Dafoe.
He's great in this.
And he plays this vampire. He doesn't blink. He's not a real vampire, but he kind of looks like a vampire. He doesn't blink once in this whole movie, I swear to God. He's got this weird Southern accent going on, like like Anne Rice film or something like that, like a vampire from Anne Rice. Mm-hmm. And he looks like a cobra, but he's Raven. Raven Shattuck is his name, actually. So anyways, Diane Lane's holding this concert in the whole town. She's performing in her hometown. Her whole town comes out to see her, and she gets kidnapped by Raven Shattuck and his motorcycle gang, the Bombers. And so, which is crazy because the police don't go looking for her at all. He just like kidnaps her and ties her to a bed.
It's a different time, a different place.
Well, exactly. And the police don't go after her. It has basically Rick Moranis is also in it too. This movie is wrought with stars. We got Rick Moranis as Bill Paxton.
Amy
Bill
Madigan.
Paxton. Amy. Yes, she's the mom from Field of Dreams, which is so weird to me. And I have a theory about this, which I'll go into here. Don't let me forget to mention before we move on. Oh, Ed Begley Jr.'s in it too. He plays
That's
this
why
weird.
Bill likes it.
He's got this weird, crazy, crazy alley bum. But Rick Moranis as a tough guy is freaking hilarious. Dude.
Why do
He's
I like
5
Ed
feet
Begley
tall.
Jr.?
Every movie with Ed Begley Jr. you love. It's why you love Greedy. It's why you love She-Devil. That's why you love this in 4K.
Dude,
Sorry.
Ed Begley Jr. is the Matthew Modine of his time. He's like in every fucking thing. So there's this awesome scene when basically this chick who owns a cafe who gets like jumped and her cafe all destroyed by other motorcycle gangs calls her brother,
right?
and her brother's like Bill is this is Cody Tom Cody, and who's very much like John Wayne in that scene, the way he says his name, Tom Cody. I can't do John Wayne, but you guys get it. It's he's so manly. But so she calls her brother, and she's like, Ellen Aim, who is the Dianelane's character, got kidnapped, and he's your ex-girlfriend. She's your ex-girlfriend, excuse me, and nobody's going to save her. The police aren't looking for her. I need you to come and save her and save my diner. So he comes back into town, and he is in the diner when this motorcycle gang shows up, and there's this awesome slap fight with a butterfly knife.
Oh yeah,
You know that scene? That scene's fantastic, and he takes the butterfly knife. And
it woke me up.
And it goes back and forth. It's an exciting scene. Oh my god! It made me and my friends, when we saw this in the movies in 1984, made us go out and get butterfly knives because it was so cool. Remember those things?
Yeah.
Which theater did you see that, Mike?
I probably would have seen it at the Showcase Cinema in downtown Worcester, which is now the Hanover Theater. But either that or it would have been like White City in Shrewsbury. I lived in Worcester at the time. So, also, it was on HBO like 9 million times. So any kid that grew up in the 80s whose parents had HBO, you watch this movie. Like Eddie and the Cruisers was another one. It was just on all the freaking
time. Yeah, both of those movies. Oh.
So there's some amazing scenes in here. The scene has motorcycles. It's got Tom Cody when he goes in to rescue the Dianelane. He's got this Winchester pump shotgun, and he's blowing up motorcycles like it's like a grenade launcher. And so these innocent lives are riding around on their motorcycles, having a grand old time. Woo! It's Saturday night. Yeah,
those were bad guys.
And so yes, it's the classic '80s explosions everywhere. Quick jump shots, like I'm in a cut shot, cuts that are fast and quickly moving, like I'm in an 80s rock video.
Did you own the soundtrack, Mike? Did you own the soundtrack?
There's one song from that soundtrack that is memorable, and that is the song by what's his name, Dan Hardman, who is like this yacht rock white dude. I mean, like whiter than Ian. I mean, like
that's impossible.
I'm not white.
Like you can see
impossible.
Through this guy. He's so white. I know, right? Seriously, Bill. Yes, this Motown band called the Sorrells that they happen to meet because they hijacked his band's old school bus.
I felt bad for those guys.
I totally felt bad for those guys. Also, check this out. Not only does it have Robert Townsend, who's rather famous towards the mid to late 80s, but it also has the actor who played Bubba from Forrest Gump as one of the Sorrells. I'm totally watching this
from Die Hard.
John there you go.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at Ian.
So that song is absolutely memorable. It was a hit in the 80s. It's the song, and they even had the rock video on MTV where it was the dudes from the Sorrells singing it, and not this like yacht rock, dude like looking like Christopher Cross and Ian had a baby.
I'm erect.
Wow.
Basically, some other things about this movie that are pretty amazing. And I mentioned this earlier. They call it Streets of Fire, but there's puddles everywhere. You know, it's like I said, neon lights reflecting up off the street. It's a beautiful film, like just lighting wise, vision wise. It's dark.
Shadows,
Yet it has
silhouettes,
these beautiful features. Yes, it's and of course, you know, barrels with fire in it, just random barrels with fire in it, and just random music videos in the middle of the movie. Well, basically, I was talking about Bogart, Tough Talk, Cody being a cowboy. These were all like the costumes and everything are like really bleak for like kind of gray, muted for the people and the extras in the background. But yet, Dianelane is in this vibrant red dress, and she totally looks like she's just been out of place. Like she just like plucked from an 80s music video and just dropped it to 1950s dystopia. And then Tom Cody is like this cowboy. You know, he looked like he should be in like Lonesome Dove or something, or Yellowstone. You know, he comes out. He's got the suspenders, and he's got the shotgun. He's got that raincoat, you know, that they wear in the frontier, and he's a dead eye for a shot too. Like I said, he was taking out motorcycles left and right. He takes out police cruisers when the police show up, and there's like 200 policemen, but yet like 5 people with guns on his side, and they like take the police hostage. He starts blowing up the cruisers. I mean, just insane stuff.
I want to see the movie you saw. It sounds so much
dude,
better.
this movie is amazing. All right, some of my favorite scenes in this movie specifically are when he says, Rick Moranis says to Tom Cody, because Rick Moranis, I guess he thinks that she's his girlfriend because he can get her gigs, and she's with him because he's got money, and everybody else is like poor as crap in that town. But she's like, oh my God, Tom Cody, nobody ever did me like Tom Cody did back in the day. So, but I'm still in love with him, even though he did me wrong and left town.
Even though he's older than me, but go on.
So Rick Moranis is like, go on, man. She needs you, man. She loves you, man. And he's like, no, she needs you more than she needs me, because he's going to give her a career. And then she like runs out, and they have this dramatic kiss in the rain. It's like perfect, you know? And they're like, next scene, they're shot, they're like doing the nasty and like soaking wet still from the rain. And they're like having a little pillow talk, you know? And
from the kiss in the rain to the bed, it was like a nice edit there. That was good.
I knew you would appreciate that.
Yeah.
You've seen the mastery that is this movie.
Yeah.
And they're still wet from the rain. That's the part that gets me. They didn't even dry off. That's how like in love they were with each other. One of my favorite scenes in the whole freaking movie is when after he rescues her from the Ravens, not the Ravens, the bombers. Raven gets pissed, right? And he wants to come after them. So he decides to show up with like 100 leather daddies on motorcycles in the town. And there's like 4 police cars and like 3 motorcycles and a ton of leather daddies. And then all the socias show up with their shotguns. I mean, this is like The Outsiders. It's like old, like the old riots they would have back in the old days, you know, labor riots and shit. Where you have like the townspeople against like the labor people. I don't know. So it's crazy. There's a lot happening here. There's a lot of socioeconomic tensions happening here. No, I'm just joking. This all goes to an apex where Raven and Tom Cody have a sledgehammer fight. Oh. And it's a duel of strength sledgehammer fights. And then that movie, I mean, that scene has got, I'm not going to tell you who wins, but they have like 200 jump shots in that movie. I mean, that whole movie, again, is like a 1980s video. It's got Link Ray guitar music in the background. You know that a rumble is going to start when you hear Link Ray in a 1950s movie. You know, it's a convention. It's a cliche. You know that Pulp Fiction style guitar rock. That's Link Ray. Ian, you need to Google Link Ray. Okay. I know you're looking at me like you don't know because you're listening to Dan Hartman. You're too busy listening to Dan Hartman. Oh yeah. So they got one more smooch backstage, right? So after all the fighting's done, smooch. And Oh, he knocks her out in the train too. Tom Cody, he like needs to like get her like out of the scene. I don't know why the director did this. Bill, you might know since you're a writer, right? So they're in the subway train, and then they're going to the Rumble, right? And they're bringing the Socias and they're fighting the Leather Daddies, and he can't have Dianelane there for some reason. So Cody knocks her out in the train, like punches her, cold cocks her,
which is rude.
Well, right, and you know what does that say? And I'm going to be serious.
It's a different time. It's a little.
What does that say to our daughters? I guess back in the 1950s/80, you can like hit women, and as long as you had a good reason,
it's a different time.
I guess you all can do it. Right, a different time, different place, exactly.
Yeah.
So the movie basically, I'm not going to give away the ending, but there's a really beautiful ending where he goes to leave a hot young Dianelane, but so he smooches her backstage, like, you gotta go with him because he's gonna take care of you. And she's like, no, I know you punched me in the face, but it's okay, I'm in love with you. And basically he leaves her wanting more.
He was saving her by punching her in the face.
There you go. But how they couldn't come up with another solution to transition to that?
So my wife is saving me
idea.
when she punches me?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's abuser language, Bill. That's abuser language.
You picked the movie.
But you have it in 4K, Bill.
All right. So then the movie ends this way. I'm not going to give away too much, but this is my favorite part of the movie. This is my favorite part of the movie, right? He smooches her.
That's me too.
She wants more. She wants more. She is in love with this guy, and he leaves her on the motorcycle in the rain. Ooh, got the gun strapped to his back.
Yeah, because it's the ending.
And then she goes on, and she has the performance of a lifetime. Absolutely breathtaking, amazing performance on stage.
Silhouette hands.
With the silhouette hands, the Pat Benatar, the Patty Smythe from Scandal, you know, knocking down the walls of heartache. I Am the Warrior. I mean, just like 1980s homage. Some of the characters on there are really kind of silly. Like I said, you know, you had the cowboy, you had Ellen from the 80s. But the one character that I think is kind of this underlying character is Amy Madigan or Madigan.
Madigan, yeah. She's Ed Harris's wife, right?
And she plays McCoy. Now, McCoy was written for a man. I don't know why they cast the mom from Field of Dreams as this character, but she actually does a great job.
Because it was shot in Chicago, I think.
And she plays tough a lot in a lot of her roles.
She was in Uncle Buck.
Right. Uncle Buck. She's very earthy. She's very, like, you know, down to earth, but she had this weird, like, shag haircut. Like, I didn't know where that comes in like 1950 something or even 1980 something.
It's a different time, a different place.
Exactly. But there's a mystery about her, and I kind of realized it with the last line in the movie. And basically, McCoy is a lesbian.
Oh, she says that earlier.
Because it's the
1950s, not my type.
Because it's the 1950s, 1980s, they don't talk about lesbians. I mean, it's okay.
She said it in her first.
They just don't talk about lesbians because it's the 1980s, 1950s thing, right, Bill? I mean, again,
it's a different time. It's a different place.
And yes, Ian, exactly. She says it twice actually, but the last line in the movie, she basically says to him, he's just absolutely like breathtaking and adorable, and there's no reason, as the audience would think, there's no reason why she wouldn't be in love with Tom Cody. But he's not her type. So I think there's a little under there, a little social message there that's happening, which is rather lovely. And I think it gives this movie the beautiful depth that it deserves. And basically it ends. The end of the movie is basically a shot of underneath the tracks on the street, water, fire, no rats, mind you, no rats. They are in an urban dystopia, and I don't see a single rat.
There's no rat.
A lot has.
It's another time. It's another place. There's no rats.
And basically, it literally looks like a musical theater set, like as it starts to fade away.
Because they had to move the set to a soundstage. That's why.
Did they?
Yeah, they recreated that bridge and stuff like that.
So now I know that scene on the street. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Bill.
Yeah.
And there's a scene in the street. They spent like $1 million on a big black tarp that went over the street to make it nighttime because there were people that were underage working on the movie, and I guess by their contracts they couldn't work at night if they're under 18 or something weird like that. So the producers had $1 million black tarp set up on that street to make it nighttime, and then they can light it again. It's really weird. But
this is a movie I never watched fully through in the 80s.
Yeah.
Because it was on, like you said, Eddie and the Cruisers, and this were on HBO all the time. And I realize now, when finally sitting down to watch it, why I didn't get into it. It's so drab and it's gray. I think it looks great. I think it's filmed well. The lighting's awesome, which you probably would have worked on if that was happening now. But it's just it's so stilted. The dialogue just trying to be this thing. I think
so
no
juvenile.
offense, Michael Perry or Pere, however you say it.
Pere.
I think he's a void. He's just a void. There's just like Defoe is great. I think Dianelane is great. I think Amy.
There's not a lot going on behind his eyes. Michael Pere.
Exactly.
There's not a lot going on there.
A void. He has no depth. I think Tom Hardy would be way better in this role. I was bored out of my mind. They sell it as an action movie. There's the 2 scenes where he's shooting motorcycles from a roof, so he's not even that involved in the action. It's from a distance. And then there's the sledgehammer punch fight. Those are the only action scenes. The rest is boring, stilted dialogue. Rick Moranis is wasted in he's one note the whole time. I am tough little man.
And tough little guy. Hey, buddy, I got money.
So bored. I was so bored. But I appreciate you liked it. And I'm glad you came to the show.
Epic movie. Watch it again.
Epically a snooze fest.
Watch it again. Take a nap first and then watch it again.
I watched it in the morning. I watched it right after my coffee. I'm sorry, Bill. What do you think?
Maybe that's the wrong time. It's a nighttime movie. Go ahead, Bill.
So there's certain movies I've never seen, like The Road Warrior, and like I'm like Ian, like I just go, oh, and everyone's like, you never saw Streets of Fire, and then 3 years ago I was playing at the 70mm fest at the Aero Theater in Santa Monica, and I went with another awesome friend, Bill Virgos, and I was like, what is this movie about? Because that poster, as a kid, you're like, I'm not going to watch this, even though it was on HBO all the time.
Poster's way better than the movie.
I know, but it seemed like an adult type of movie and stuff like that. And I went to go see him right away. I go, oh, this is the composer and the writer for all the Meatloaf songs. And I was like, oh, that opening song is so awesome. And to see it on 70mm, it was fantastic. And then I saw Rick Moranis was in it. And this is what Michael Pere said about Rick Moranis. Rick Moranis drove me out of my mind. There's this whole wave of insult comedy. In the real world, if someone insults you a couple times, you can smack them or punch them. You can't do that on a movie set. And these comedians walk around, they can say whatever they want. I'm just not the handy that way. Comedians are a special breed. They can antagonize you and say whatever you want. He's this weird looking guy who couldn't get laid in a whorehouse with a fistful of 50s. He would imitate me. The first thing he says to me is, do you just act cool? Oh, are you really cool?
I agree with that.
That was the first sentence out of his mouth to me in Joel Silver's office. I was like, oh, this is not going to go well. But he was one of Jonathan Friends. He ended up making a bunch of movies for Disney. I just wasn't that sharp, and I wasn't ready for that crap. Because, I mean, the movie's total misfire. They try to bring back certain movies like Sorcerer and like stuff that's not good, and they try to say it's good. Everyone's like, yeah, we totally missed the boat on this, but it's a beautiful misfire. It doesn't know what it wants to be. It's kind of like Xanadu, where they were trying to say we want a rock opera and an action movie and all this stuff. I like the fact it was not an IP, it was an original thing. Michael Pere, there were worse actors out there. I get it, and they had to cut around him. I appreciate it for what it was, but it was super 80s. But the best thing about the movie was that it gave birth to this. Joel Silver produced the movie, and Rick Moranis did a famous SC TV sketch. So watch this.
Watch the stars shine with veteran Hollywood producer Larry Siegel.
Look at the show. What are you gonna watch? You're gonna stay home and watch Monday Night Football? A bunch of guys going to Pigskin? What are you gonna watch? Reruns with a Fonzie? Come on, you watch. What do you got? Gotta hire a producer for $300,000? I make pictures in an office all day. I'll do what I want here.
Joining Larry this week will be comedy team Dennis and David.
I mean, you guys are funny guys, you know? You come out here, you do 5 minutes. You can't do this 5 minutes all over. You got Griffin and Douglas the same 5 minutes. What happened in Vegas for the rest of your life doing the same lousy 5 minutes? You gotta put together something. Put together a half hour. Put together some characters or something. What, are you gonna stay a team like this for the rest of your life? Put together something, you know? I mean, you come to me, we can work this thing out. You know, you put together a little proposal, I can put you on to somebody. Elaine, get me Marty Abelson at Paramount. You know, did you talk to this guy? He'll do something for you.
Larry, Marty Abelson on the phone.
Tell him I'll call him back. You know, I mean, did I tell you? Shut up and listen to me. Did I tell you I'd get you on the show?
Also joining Larry will be special effects artist Mark Greenstein.
You don't know. You don't. You see, they don't know. This man is the greatest animator in the business. What are we gonna do? Put up a screen? What do you put up a screen and show you the effects he's done? I'm not gonna do that. What do you want? You want a Mickey Mouse, a back sheet up here? This man is the greatest. You know, they don't know. The other day, we're talking at the restaurant. Matt makes what do you? I say, I don't understand. He's like, you go to Matt makes $15 for a bowl of soup. When we go to school, 75 cents for a bowl of soup. What do you got? Mom makes a lousy $15 for the worst soup in the city. Elaine, get me my mother. You gotta tell you, my mother tell you how to make a bowl
Your
of soup.
mother.
Ma.
How are you, dear?
Ma, fine. Ma, you remember, you know the soup?
What?
The soup you made. You know what's the vegetable? There's a vegetable you put in a soup. It's not a carrot. It's not parsley.
Turnip?
It's not, what?
Turnip?
Turnip. She puts a turnip in soup. It's entirely different. The whole thing is gonna be
Just boil it with everything.
Yeah, Ma, I gotta go.
Are you seeing anybody?
Ma, I'll
dear?
call you back.
When?
Goodbye. You know, just put a turnip in the soup. The whole thing is a lousy man makes on a $15 soup. The whole thing is crap.
And Paramutual Pictures Business Affairs Executive Barry Safransky will explain the economics of movie making.
You put a lousy stop payment on that check when I'm talking to me? What do you don't like the numbers? You don't like the agent? That's my job. You call me before you do something like that. These guys are not driving around in Rolls Royce and Mercedes-Benz and Porsches. They're taking a lousy bus to the studio. You don't know. You don't know.
Join Larry and his guests on The Larry Siegel Show this Thursday at 9 on SCTV.
That's Joel Silver. And that's how he met him on the set of Streets of Fire and did that famous sketch.
That's
I
awesome.
wish that was a Rick Moranis we saw in the movie.
Right? It kind of is.
You don't know.
It's Rick Moranis. It's that character who like grew up or grew older into the 80s and did a lot of coke in the 70s and 80s, basically.
Yeah.
That same character, though. Kind of like a Phil Spector character.
Oh, with better writing.
Better, right? Yeah, the writing in Streets of Fire, admittedly, is very juvenile, and that's where I equate it to being a comic book fantasy of a film.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
It's like a
comic
graphic
books
novel.
don't have complex dialogue; they got real dumb, straight ahead.
I applaud it for doing something different. It just wasn't for me, but I can understand why you liked it.
All right, check this out. There's a quick little trivia bit here. This was supposed to be a series originally. They were supposed to do 3 movies, and this was supposed to be the first in that series.
Oh, wow.
And of course, since this absolute garbage in the box office, I think it made like $8 million in the box office. It cost like 100 to make or something. And it actually got more people watching it when it was on HBO and VHS than it did in the movie theater.
It cost
I can't imagine
14,
why.
made 8. Oof.
Right. Oh, and but yeah, it was supposed to be a series. And what that would have looked like, I have no idea. But maybe Tom Hardy can bring it back down, and Tom Hardy can play the Rick Moranis part.
There you go.
That would be
I think
good.
that'd
That'd be
pretty
interesting.
badass. Right.
They'll force him to talk. Okay, so should we?
So thank you guys for watching this. I really appreciate it. This is a movie that very much reminds me of being 10 years old at home on a Saturday with nothing to do, and Streets of Fire just happened to be on. So
And the 4K DVD is beautiful.
It's a gorgeous looking movie, and
It
then
is.
again,
It is.
Dianelane is undeniable. Oh, there's one thing I did want to bring up that I forgot to mention. What is with Willem Dafoe dressed like a crab fisherman when he comes out in the fire, wearing the waders and no shirt on underneath?
I think it's a
And of course,
steampunk.
his nips are covered up by the thing. It's like
I think it's a steampunk type of thing.
before steampunk even existed. But
And to protect him from the streets of fire.
of
Come on.
Different time, it's a different place.
Yes.
maybe he was a
Wish I
crab
had been
fisherman. We
somewhere
just didn't
else.
see that part. Maybe
that?
maybe he was. He was a clammer. He was digging quahogs out in the bay, and then he
Maybe.
comes in. He joins his motorcycle group of leather daddies.
I want to see that movie where he's looking for clams. Okay, so I did the movie The Hidden from 1987, directed by Jack Shoulder, who also directed Elm Street 2 and Renegades.
Renegades is awesome. That will be an injectable.
Wasn't it Kiefer Sutherland and something?
Yeah,
or-
Lou Diamond Phillips, Kiefer Sutherland.
Okay. So this is it's a wacky movie. It's a sci-fi movie about what seems these everyday normal people become sociopaths and go on these crime sprees, but it turns out it's like this alien parasite that's jumping into people and taking over their bodies and their minds and making them do bad things. So then Michael Nouri and kylemaclachlan come in to try to stop this thing, and kylemaclachlan isn't exactly a human being, I guess. I don't remember.
That's a spoiler.
I know, but I had trouble actually grabbing a scene for this, so here is an edited version of the trailer.
Something strange is happening to some ordinary people.
He's a law-abiding taxpayer minding his own business. Killed 12 people, wounded 23 more, stole 6 cars, most of them Ferraris. If anybody deserves to go that way, it sure in the hell's him.
You trying to tell me that she's part of this?
Step out of the car slow!
I want to know why it takes 15 shots to take down some sold-out stripper. We talking spacemen here?
Finds a body, gets inside, uses it to move around.
Bye.
I guess a career in the police didn't really prepare you for this, did it?
I can totally see why 1987 home video me loved this movie. It is sci-fi. It's a lot of shooting. It's a little bit horror. And I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. Now, older me does not love it quite as much. I think it's still a lot of fun. It's a nice time capsule of the 80s. I would say the first half is pretty great, but I think they got a little carried away with how many people the parasite jumps into. And I think they should have contained it, and it could have been sharper. But I think kylemaclachlan's really good. It's his follow-up film to Blue Velvet. It's still fun. It's not amazing, but it's fun schlock. Great little B movie from the 80s. What'd you think, Mike?
Wow. First of all, I knew nothing about this movie going into it, right? So I'm the naive viewer going into this, and I'm thinking, why is this guy acting like, is this a movie about the Terminator? And then all of a sudden something weird happens, and I'm like, what the fuck? What's that? Like, I had no idea that was going to happen.
Thing?
Yes, like the slimy slug thing. And then I was like, whoa, this movie just took on a different dimension. The car chase scene in the beginning is awesome.
It's great.
You know, the Ferraris, the Porsches, like the sweet cars that this guy has this mutant thing has a alien thing has a penchant for is awesome. There's a lot going on in this film. I think there's a mega amount of cliches.
Sure.
As I was looking at my notes for this, I just started highlighting things, and I started feeling like, you ever see that bit Stefan that Bill Hader does, where he talks about the nightclubs in New York and how they have all these special features? Well, I think this movie has everything. It has uneasy music, it has security cameras, it has sweet car chases, it has killing guards, it has bank robberies, it has heavy metal music. It has that crash scene where two guys are carrying a window pane, and then they crash through the window pane. It has shocking violence when they run over that dude in a wheelchair. It has the Terminator. It's got aliens. It's got aliens. It's got what the fuck was that moments. It's got music store scenes with breaking glass in boom boxes, which is a classic 80s cliche, right? And it's got a creature. It's got a creature that loves rad music and Ferraris. It's got this Frankenstein-like creature. It has troves of guns. It has 1980 strippers. No movie is good without a 1980 stripper. At least no 80s movie is good without a 1980 stripper. Dude, the stripper, even there's no nicer way of saying this. The stripper basically fucks a guy to death. And then basically to steal his car. Like, that's amazing, right? Making. And then the best, he love makes this guy to death to steal his ride. And then the funniest fucking scene. There's some really hilarious scenes in this movie. One of them was when he's like feeling himself up, and the alien's like, ooh, yeah, very. And it's just so weird. It's like, why am I watching this cringy shit? You know, like, this movie has a ton of cringe moments in it. That's definitely one of them. It's got 6 shotguns with no recoil. Like, there's like a scene where she's just blasting, but like, you know, you think she'd be doing that. Yeah, there you go. That sweet shotgun.
He's also in that movie Jinxed, right? Is it called Jinxed?
Yeah.
That actress?
Yeah.
My favorite part of this movie, though, is the mannequin warehouse. Okay, you can never have too many scenes with a mannequin warehouse. And if anything, I think that shootout wasn't long enough because that was like an amazing shootout scene and a mannequin. I can't say mannequin warehouse enough. I think that should be a name of a band, mannequin warehouse.
You needed more tractors, though.
And then there's a scene with the dog, and I'm like literally watching it like I'm watching what's the movie with John Wick. I feel like I'm watching John Wick. I'm like, no, not the dog. Oh shit, they did not fuck with the dog. Oh no, some shit's going down. They messed with the dog. It's never a good sign when you mess with the dog. And then the scene in the movie where the dog is looking in the mirror, because there's other scenes where the creature is looking at itself in the mirror in whatever form it transmorgified into, and it's sitting there like looking into the mirror, like questioning its like existence and its choices. And it's just so fucking funny. This movie has Cujo, it has Spaceman, it has big ass laser guns, it has Danny fucking Trejo in it.
Oh yeah,
Danny Trejo. It has Prison Riots with Danny Trejo. I mean, Danny Trejo. I mean, come on, guys. What is a movie without Danny Trejo, especially the early vintage Danny Trejo of the tiny bit parts of 1980s that he's famous for?
This sounds like a good review.
It's got guards with Uzis. I mean, what's an 80s movie without Uzis, right? And finally, my favorite part of the movie is the flaming politician. I mean, you cannot have enough flaming politicians.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I don't want to give away the ending, but there's a transmogrification that happens where kylemaclachlan's character, who's a little too pretty to begin with from the beginning of the movie, I'm like,
I think he's really
something
good.
weird about this character. He wasn't quite stoic-y and zombie-like-ish as he gets further into the movie.
Yeah.
He was a little, kylemaclachlan's weird, plays weird parts. He was a little too pretty for this gritty movie, And I knew something was up right away as soon as I saw that.
Good.
But when he transmorgifies, he does it with like light and energy, and it's like this loving thing that happens where really he goes into the other body. I'm not going to give away the ending, but in the end, the question remains. The question remains in the end: why does the kid know? Like the daughter. Remember, he starts like getting all weird about the daughter. And then, has this at dinner, starts talking about the daughter, and her parents are like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And in the end of the movie, he looks at the daughter while she's in the bed when the parents introduce him to the daughter. And the daughter's like, what's with this fucking guy? Right. And and they have like this little connection, and it's just cringy. It's weird. But in the end, she gives him that same look. She knows.
It's a prequel to the film Birth, which we did last week on this show.
Oh, was it really?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
Yeah, the little girl, I guess, was his wife in a previous life. Yeah.
Boom. There you go. That ties it together. I guess my biggest question walking away from this movie, Ian.
Yeah.
Is this supposed to be serious, or is this supposed to be a comedy? I couldn't figure it out.
It was made for 15-year-old boys
who
love
black
The Thing and
comedy.
Lethal Weapon. This is The Thing meets Lethal Weapon, and all those buddy cop movies.
So it was written by
written
by Tim Koff, who wrote Stakeout in California, and he couldn't make it forever. It was a genre movie, and then Jack Shoulder came on and said, "I want to make this into an action movie." And that's why it's so good, is because of all the action scenes and not so much about the special sci-fi aspect of it.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's just a genre movie. It's a New Line, back when New Line
cinemas.
Yeah, the time of Elm Street. Yeah.
It wasn't a mini major yet. It was just a programmer. But it was fun. I remember seeing the poster, and I'd be like too scared to see it. And I just saw it for the first time. I loved it. I loved the mid-80s Los Angeles. I mean, I
had no recollection of this movie.
They shot a lot of. I mean, it's crazy where they shot. They shot on Hollywood Boulevard. It's crazy, right by Michelli's, and it was great fun. It's like a programmer, but it wasn't like a money grab. I think that there was a big idea behind it, and then Jack Shoulder, who does a lot of hard action movies, like that movie Renegades, which is awesome. He was the perfect director for it, and he elevated the material. That's why I think kylemaclachlan did it. But Michael Norrie, who actually went to Emerson, he and Josh Shoulder did not get along.
Oh, really?
During the shooting, yeah.
I guess my mom knew Michael Nori at Emerson.
Yeah, wow.
Oh, Michael.
Whoa.
Yeah. I don't know. It was 100 years
Of course he's from Emerson. He didn't get along with it. He knew more than director. Like everybody who ever leaves Emerson, they come out thinking they're a lot better than they really freaking are. Right, Ian? Sorry.
I mean, yeah.
That was kind of mean. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I was actually projecting myself.
You're going to make me mad again. All right.
I just couldn't figure out whether it didn't embrace the cliches. It was like seemed like it took them very, very seriously. Whereas Streets of Fire to me basically embraced those cliches. We're like, look, we're a comic book, we're a musical, we're a rock opera. But this one was
cliches, like if they're done serious. In 1995, you know, that was just standard fare, you know.
Yeah.
Streets of Fire, they, you know, I know they were going like, we're gonna do rock opera. We're gonna do like romance. We're gonna combine all these genres and mix them up and make no one happy of fans of those genres. And this is standard fare. This is like, what if there's a thing, and then I'm gonna make it into an action movie. It's awesome.
I loved it. I loved it when it came out, or when it came to VHS, because it disappeared from theaters. I think it didn't do well. It's underrated, but it's pretty. I think it was pretty low budget, though, wasn't it, Bill?
Yeah, it's a new line in the '80s. They had no money, you know.
Yeah,
it's like
what's
a new
that
world.
main programmer? I don't even know what you mean by that.
Just like, okay, we're gonna do this action sci-fi movie about aliens and enabling bodies and stuff like that. You know, Robert Shea produced it. He was the president of New Line. His sister was in the movie. She's in all the Farley Brothers movies. It was great fun. Jim Calf, who became a really famous writer. I don't know why he has a pen name on the script, but he does.
Okay.
All right, let me do my movie.
Yeah. What'd you do, Bill?
I did 3 O'Clock High, directed by Phil Janau.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I think it's French.
Yeah. It was a famous spec script in the 80s. Steven Spielberg was attached to it. He eventually took his name off in the movie.
Because he wanted it to be Karate Kid, right? Something like that.
He didn't want it as dark as it was. It's a highly stylized version.
Did not know that.
Yeah, it's a highly stylized version of a Western set in a high school where a kid accidentally confronts the new kid at the school who's kind of a psychopath, and he threatens to beat him up at 3 o'clock. So the entire movie takes place that day of him trying to get out of the fight. Barry Sonnenfeld shot it. It's one of the best shot movies I've ever seen. He's got a weird moniker. Instead of director of photography, he's his lighting consultant. Huh. Shot in Ogden, Utah with Casey Schmesko, who's awesome in it. And why I love this movie. Well, you know, so Spielberg took his name off it. It didn't do well. Aaron Spelling produced it. And it's written by 2 comedy writers. One of them is Richard Matheson's son, who, you know, did all those famous Twilight Zone movies and stuff like that. And he's from Allendale, New Jersey. But what I love about it is the fact that near the end of the second act, as he's trying to weasel his way out of it, and he has a way, the bully says to Casey Schmesko, "You didn't even try." And that to me is like I love it.
Yeah.
And it's so beautifully shot. I think it was too crazy for Spielberg, and it totally bombed at the box office and now has become a cult hit.
Do you want the clip?
Yeah, let's see the clip.
Pretend this never happened, okay?
You're never gonna forget this happened. Yeah, Jerry. Now I'm gonna have to do something to work it off.
Work it off?
You and me, we're gonna have a fight today after school. 3 o'clock in the parking lot. You try and run, I'm gonna track you down. You go to a teacher, it's only gonna get worse. You sneak home, be under your bed. You and me. 3 o'clock.
The bully's so good. He's so good in this.
Yeah, it was I mean, Sonnenfeld shot Misery, he shot Big, he shot When Harry Met Sally, Miller's Crossing, and then Blood Simple. I think
talent. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one of the best shot movies I've ever seen. It was awesome, man.
And Phil went on to do State of Grace, the director.
Yep.
And-
Another great ejectable movie. I love it.
Some good slow-mo in that. What'd you think of this, Mike?
Basically, I love this movie. I love this movie when it came out. I remember seeing it in the movie theater, and my friends all hated it.
What?
My friends all hated this movie. It was advertised on MTV a lot, and that's why we went. Of course, we were just led by the nose by MTV, and that it was a different time, a different place. And I love this movie. It's a black comedy. My friends wanted to see more fighting. They thought the whole thing would be a big fight movie, and it's really about basically it's Ferris Bueller with dark humor. Basically, I love the narration through it. I love the awesome camera angles. It's got some funny gags, like him microwaving his shirt with the Pop-Tart. I thought was freaking hilarious. He's driving his mom's Dodge Aries wagon that says Super Mom on the license plate. So it's got these little throwaway jokes that I thought were really awesome. It's got Lisa Simpson in it at the beginning.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh my God, you're Lee Scott. Is that her name? Anyway, Lisa Simpson. She's one of the little cheerleaders. Got Jeffrey Tambor. Jeffrey Tambor is awesome, and he's not douchey in this movie like Jeffrey Tambor is in a lot of movies. Like he's awesome in this. He's very empathetic. Some of the things I thought were really funny is that all the high school kids look like they're much older than high school. The Buddy Revell, the bully,
he's so good.
He's like the Terminator. He literally comes on that scene that Bill mentions when he basically turns into a human being. Like you see this human part of him, and he's just like, dude, you're a pussy. Like, what the? You didn't even try. Like, what the fuck?
And he's smart.
Like,
the exam.
What a great scene. Yes. Oh, yeah. The exam. Yeah, exactly. He is very smart. He's got this mystery behind him, this character. He's an enigma.
But how is he not in jail
revealed.
at the end after the fight? And he's there.
Right.
He's able to get
It's another time. It's another place.
Yeah, true.
Right. And he looks like Jim Morrison, too. That's the other thing, dude. I could not see. Val Kilmer would have been great in this role.
Yeah.
So you don't think you could punch out your principal and then come back to school the next
the
day?
cops.
Right.
The cops too. Yeah.
Well, he could have been on the train and punched out dianelane and nobody would say anything. So I guess he can punch out the principal and nobody says anything.
Yes,
so violence in the 80s, as long as it's justified, is okay, apparently, from these movies.
I liked it. This is a movie I
love this movie.
For me, it came out of nowhere. I was at the video store. I remember actually the moment, and I saw this on the shelf. I'm like, what is this movie? I don't know this cover. And I rented it, and I didn't love it back then. I didn't love it, and I think I know why. I think it is good, but I think it's very low key, kind of understated, and I think they could have amped up some of the scenes. Like there's this one scene where they're trying to unlock the locker.
That was awesome.
I think it's good, but they even could have amped it up for
dude. It's the most amped up locker scene next to Goodfellas.
No, but I think they could have gone further. Like, oh my God, I don't know. I'm just trying to guess why it wasn't more successful. But I think it's good. It's very stylized. I think it's well directed, very well acted. I have no complaints about it, other than maybe it needed a little more energy. It did feel like Ferris Bueller gets in a fight with I don't think he has the charm of Matthew Broderick, but he's good. He's a little bit of a blank. He's a little bit, but he's good.
That's the point, dude. That scene in the library that's all done is crazy.
Yeah, it's good. It is good. It's definitely an underrated little gem.
I love the hot Victorian English teacher. She's got the hair pulled up and
looks like Ginger from Gilligan's Island. Yeah,
with the green eyes and the red hair. That scene was awesome. So fun.
All right, Mike, you have to pick. You can't pick your movie. What's the pick of this week?
I do want to mention in that last film, though, the woman who played Large Marge was also in that movie as the nurse. Large Marge from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Terry Cobbler.
And it's really funny how nothing really gets to this kid. What's his face? Jerry, other than when the bully calls him a pussy, because it stays with him. It stays with him, and he's like, I can't. I don't care if I get killed now. Like the whole movie, he's trying to avoid this situation, but he got called a pussy.
No, he said he didn't even try. Yeah, that's awesome.
Right. They didn't even try. Exact same thing.
I kind of like
what
that
movie-
he's into that other girl, but yet he doesn't cheat on his girlfriend, which was so nice. His girlfriend was so cute. The other girl was
the cute
weird. She
goth
was
chick?
like, "Hi, how are you?" She was like so spacey and weird in every scene, but it didn't matter.
I thought the scene with the book report is hilarious too, and that's why I brought up the hot Victorian teacher there, because he completely changes character in that scene.
Yeah.
Too. Like all of a sudden he's like goes for broke. He's like, I'm gonna be an asshole, and it's actually hilarious. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in here.
Which movie did I like the most? I mean,
Yeah,
thanks, Bill. I'm gonna say 3 O'Clock High was just awesome. I don't. It also has a Wonderful Life ending too, which is one of my favorite movies in the world. It's a Wonderful Life. When they come, they start bringing him all the money, and
He jumps off the bridge.
The richest man in town. Well,
Did you say he jumps off the bridge? That's the end.
Oh, wait a minute.
It's a Wonderful Life ending, which is just beautiful. After they have this like Spartacus-like gladiator battle, I think it's like amazing.
Ian, have you seen It's a Wonderful Life?
I did. No, that's the beginning. He's jumping off the bridge at the beginning. I was thinking of my brother. Sorry, too.
You only saw the last one? I mean, the beginning of it, or are you one of those like people watch at Christmas for like 10 minutes?
No, I've seen the whole thing. It's good. It's really good. It's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Anyway,
so I
3
win.
O'Clock High.
Okay, Ian.
3 O'Clock High as well. I mean, I think again, I'm so appreciative you're here, so I don't want you to scare you away for next time. But that movie bored the living daylight. I wish I had been somewhere else in a different time, but I was watching it. So definitely 3 O'Clock High. It's a great looking film, very underrated gem.
So, Mike, I'm going to pick Streets of Fire, but unfortunately, I win. So I win the employee of the
You
team
do.
for
Outstanding performance on effort.
There you go.
And I think it's your comeback from Weekend at Bernie's.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's a big Woo.
Whatever. All right.
Bill won the last time I was on too. This is tipped in.
He doesn't always win though, but sometimes he picks a decent one, and he did it this week. Now we want to tell you where to find these movies, so you can find The Hidden. You can find that on iTunes and on Prime, and you can find a Blu-ray of it. And then Streets of Fire, you can rent on iTunes or on Prime, and you can find a 4K Blu-ray, which Bill has and says looks beautiful. And then for the 3 O'Clock High, you can rent it on iTunes and Prime and find a vintage Blu-ray of it. And
that's what I got. I got on Amazon. So,
Sweet.
All right. Well,
this is fun, you guys.
Yeah, no,
Thanks for
thank
hanging
you
out.
for joining us again, Mike.
Yeah, no problem. I'm happy to be the pinch hitter when you need me to be, man. I've got films at the ready, so as soon
You
as
better come back.
I'm happy to. This would be great. I really enjoyed this trip down memory lane in 1980s retro film cliche.
This is an
So,
80,
thank you guys.
80s version. That's what I'm going to post it.
It certainly is, yeah. So that was fun, guys. Thank
All
you
right,
so much.
Stick around for a second. Here's our exit song. And please, everyone, share, like, and love, and tell your friends, and hope that Mike A comes back someday. Thank you.
Pop the popcorn, grab a Coke, and find that old VHS. We're diving deep in cheesy flicks. Yeah, we're on a vintage quest. Low reviews, but high on laughs. Let's give these films a cheer. The cult classics, flops, and nuts. There are topics this year. We're the Ejectables, rolling back the years, celebrating movies that no one else cheers. From bad hair juice to epic fails, we say it's all good. We're the Ejectables, yeah, we're misunderstood. Pop the popcorn, grab a Coke, and find that old VHS. We're diving deep in cheesy flicks. Yeah, we're on a vintage quest. Low reviews, but high on laughs. Let's give these films a cheer. The cult classics, flops, and nuts. There are topics this year. We're the Ejectables, rolling back the years, celebrating movies that no one else cheers. From bad hair juice to epic fails, we say it's all good. We're the Ejectables, yeah, we're misunderstood.